end of year review for Math 50. The learning objectives are solving equations with polynomials on both sides. We will do the first question. So first of all, whenever there's a bracket, you multiply the outside to inside. So you will get 2h times h, 2h squared. 2h times negative 5 is negative 10h. Then negative 3h times h, which is negative 3h squared. Negative 3h times 4, which is negative 12h, is equal, then 6 times h and h times h. So that will be 6h minus h squared. There's a negative 56, that will be as it is. Now we will combine the like terms, 2h with 3h squared and 10h with 12h. So you'll get negative h squared minus 22h. Bring 6h to this side and h squared to this side, so the signs will change and it'll become negative 6h, positive h squared. Negative 56 on the right side only. These two will be 0, h square minus h square, and the other part would be 28h. Now you can divide both sides by negative 28. You don't have to show it, but I'm doing it just to show you the process. So finally the value of h would be positive 2, which is given here. Now alternatively, you can also solve such questions, like most of these questions where you have equal, on the calculator by writing the whole thing. Like for example, you write this whole thing and then you do shift calc equals. So when you do it, it will take some time. It'll seem as if the calculator has stopped, but it will show you the answer in a minute. Still, I will show you these steps once again. So negative 2q with 4q, negative 2q with negative 9, there'll be negative 8q squared, positive 18q, negative q with this, so positive 8q squared, negative 15q equals 12q plus 9, 18. 8q will cancel 8q because opposite signs. 18q minus 15q would be 3q. Bring 12q to this side, so you will have negative, I'll just rewrite this properly. So you will have negative 12q because this is coming to the other side, the change of sign happens. This will be negative 9q. Divide by 9q both sides. Divide by minus 9. So the value of q would be negative 2, which you can easily get on the calculator as well by shift calc. Same way as this one, you can solve it on calculator by shift calc. However, let's have a look at this question. They want you to find the volume. So the rule for the volume is LBH. So this is the L, length, breadth, and this is the height. So all you have to do is multiply them. So 2n plus 1 times 3n plus 2 times n will be the volume. So multiplying first with second, the FOIL method. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times 2, that's going to be 4. 1 times 3 and 1 times 2. There is n outside, do not forget it. Combine the like terms. 4 plus 3 is 7. Multiply n with all. The final answer would be 6n cubed plus 7n square plus 2n. And that is the volume. You can see the same answer over here as well. The next question is already solved. You can also do it on calculator, but here you have to show steps. So make sure that you show steps. So let's go to the second part. The learning objective here is find the GCF, greatest common factor, and factor by grouping. So we have to use distributive property. If you are trying to find the greatest common factor, uh, for those who have no idea, you can divide 40, you can factorize 40 into parts. Like 40 can be written as 4 times 10. You can also write it as 2 times 2 times 10. You can also write it as 2 times 2 times 5 times 2. So I'm just going to take it like to the easiest possible way. 40xy square can be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times x times y times y. So I've expanded it all. Same way as I will do with 60x cube y4. So 60 can be written as 2 times 3 times 2 times 5 times x times x times x times y times y times y. So just to avoid confusions, for the xy part, I will write it in terms of dot so that you can see that how many x's are there and how many y's are there. Then the last one, which is AT, x4, y2. AT can be written as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. And there are 4 x's and there are 2 y's. Now let's see what is same between all these. 1, 2, 3. These 2's are same. So you will write 1, 2. You will write the second 2. The third 2 cannot be common. So what else is common? You can see that 3 is there, but 3 is here, but 3 is not here, not here. So cannot do much. However, 5 is present in all of them. So you will take it common. Then after that, you will look at the variable part. So you can see 1x is common between all and 2y's is common between all. So 1x and 2y would be common. Now you will write the remaining from the first one, which is only 2. From the second one, there's minus in the question, so you will write minus 3 x2, so x square, y2, so y square. And the third one is plus. Here you have these 2's and couple of x's common. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus is in the question. x3 is x cube, 3 x's. So this is your final answer. But what is the greatest common factor? So this is called the greatest common factor. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So that will be 20xy square. You can see here, it's the same answer. For those who understand this process, let me just show you a faster way with this question. So for example, you have 6xy cube plus 18x square y4. So what can you divide? What number can divide 6 and 18 both? So you can divide it by 6 and 6. So you will write 6 outside. Further, you can divide it by 1x and 1x. So you will write 1x out. You can divide it maximum by y3 and y3, the lowest of the powers. So this would be 1. This is 3 times 1x. So whenever you divide, you always subtract the powers. So that will be x, same way as will be y. This is your answer. As you can see here, option A seems correct. So these are two ways. The first one is the very long but easy way, and the second one is for those who understand this process. Now this is the second part where you have to group. Now there's nothing common between all of them. As you can see, for all four, there's nothing common. So let's take the first two and last two separately. So 6xy minus 8x minus 15y plus 20. The first two, I can take a 2 and x common. which means I'm dividing by 2x, I'm dividing by 2x. So that'll be 3y, 4. From the second one, I can take a 5 common. It's like dividing by negative 5, dividing by negative 5. So here you will get 3y, and here you will get negative 4. The key is that these two should be same, otherwise it will be a prime polynomial. So 2x with minus 5, always, that's a rule, and 3y minus 4 will come alone. It's like taking this common. So the answer is 2x minus 5, 3y minus 4. Same ways, I'll just show you one more and then others are solved. So like here, the first two, actually all of them, can I take something common? So you can see a x2 here, a x5 here, x2 here, and x2 here, x power 2, which means I can take x power 2 common. So I can remove x power 2 from here. This will be x power 3, x power 2, x power 2. For y, I can see y11, y9, y1, and y1. So maximum I can take is y1. So this will be 10, this will be 8, this will be y gone, y gone. Same way z, I can only take one z common. So this will be gone, this will be z2, this is gone, this will be z2. So now whatever remaining I have to write it inside. So 10 y10 z2 minus x3 y8 2z2 plus 1. So all I've done is written these values now. I hope that is clear. Now before we jump on to the next one, let's take a small break. Alright everyone, so we are moving ahead of this to the subtopic 5.2. The learning objectives are: use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side, use converse to classify as acute, right, or obtuse. So if you have to, so what is Pythagoras theorem? If you have a triangle, this is called the hypotenuse, this is altitude, depends, this could be the base. So simply putting it, if this is 3, this is 4, this will be 5, which means h square is equal to a square plus biggest side square will be equals to the sum of squares of smaller sides. So for example here, this is 2, this is 5, so we have to find h, or I can say x. So h square would be equals to 2 square small side plus small side. When you remove the square, you always get square root. Usually you do plus minus, but this is length, cannot be negative. So 2 square is 4, 5 square is 25, that'll be square root 29. That is the answer. Same ways, this is already explained. 18, 24, small plus small, square square, you get the answer. C equals 30. This one is a bit tricky. I can put it this way. If there's a right angle triangle, if hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square, that means it is 90 degrees. If hypotenuse square is greater than base square plus side square, small side square, then it will be more than 90, so obtuse. And if this is less, that means it is acute, which is like a smaller triangle. So based on that, this is BC is 10, longest side, which means hypotenuse. If the hypotenuse square is bigger, that means it's obtuse. If it's smaller, that means acute. And if it's equal, that means it is right. This will clarify things more. One side is 28, one side is 20, one side is 21. We have to find which type of triangle is it. So just do 28 square equals 20 square plus 21 square. So when you do 28 square, you can use calculator. You will get 784. 20 square is 400. 21 square is 441. So 784 is, let's say this part, 841. Now you can see that this side is greater. So h square is less than a square plus b square, altitude plus base, less or c. So you can see here, this has to be from the rules that we did above. It is the, my bad, it is the smaller one case, which means it is acute. Okay. So all these questions are same. Um, Moving on. We are moving to trigonometry. Trigonometry, we have find six trigonometric ratios: sine, cosine, tan, cosec, sec, cot. Use trigonometric to find the missing side. Apply inverse to find the missing angle. So first of all, let's have a look at the rule. I will do it on the right side. If there's a triangle, 90 degree, it has to be 90. That's the first thing. And they're asking you to find, let's say this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. It depends where theta is given. Theta is the unknown angle. So for example, this angle is like x, like theta. So you can use SOHCAHTOA to solve things, like SOHCAHTOA. So the first one is sine theta equals O divided by H. Cosine theta equals A divided by H. And tan theta equals O divided by A. Now what is O, what is A, what is H? That's the main important thing. The side opposite to theta is always called O, opposite. The longest side is always called H. And the side next to the theta is called A, adjacent. So all you have to do is you just have to substitute the values to find these answers, like O is 3, H is 5, A is 4, H is 5. And here you will get 3 over 4. However, if you have to find the opposite of these, which is for sine it is cosec, for cosine it is sec, for tan it is cot. All you have to do is just flip them. So it'll be like H over O. It's opposite of sine. So it'll be 5 by 3. Sec would be 5 by 4, just opposite of cosine. And cot will be opposite of tan, which is 4 over 3. So these are inverse, opposite of each other. These are 6 trigonometric ratios. I hope this is clear. This is the main rule. Now we will apply this rule. So find cosine of D. Now when they say D, that means they are talking about this angle. So the side opposite would be opposite. This is H. When we are talking about cosine, out of SOHCAHTOA, we are looking at ka. So not this, not this. So we have to do cosine D equals adjacent divided by H. Now this side is adjacent. So that will be 5 divided by 13. Because cosine only wants adjacent and H. Same as here. We have to find all the angles. So they did it, but I'll just mark because they are looking at A, which means this is theta. So opposite is this side. This side is adjacent. And this side is hypotenuse. And you will use SOHCAHTOA. Just make sure that you solve it differently because tan B is given. So now in this case, there has to be a 90. That's what is missing here. So if they are talking about tan B, so the side opposite would be this. Hypotenuse is always the longest, and the third one would be adjacent. So things will change for this. So all these questions are same. Have a look at this. This is slightly different. Number 4. So if I'm talking about 60 degrees, they want you to find the value of G. So the opposite side would be opposite. This is hypotenuse. This is adjacent. So what do we have here? We have hypotenuse. We need to find opposite, and we have the theta. So which rule out of SOHCAHTOA has O and H? Not this, not this. It will be sine. So you will do sine 60 because that is 60 degrees equals opposite divided by H, which is 20. So G would be cross multiply 20 sine 60. You solve it on calculator, you will get 10 root 3. The value of x, um, in this case, if you have to find this angle, so this is like theta. So you will use again, you will see which rule you can apply. So, toa. So what do we have here? We have the opposite, we have the adjacent. So that will be tan. So you will do tan theta equals opposite divide by adjacent. Now to solve it, you can do shift calc. You can just take this here, it becomes tan inverse. Write this in calculator, you will get approximately 61 as your answer. So all these questions are same. Like if you're talking about 38, this would be opposite. This would be opposite to 90, which is hypotenuse. So all these questions are same. This is inverse, sine, cosine. Okay, now we'll come back to this after some time. We did sine, cosine, and inverse. Now the new one, we have learning objectives. We have to find the maximum minimum value for the function. We have to find the vertices and evaluate each vertex for the bounded region, maximum minimum. For an unbounded region, we have to test other points and see if it's maximum or not, or minimum or not. So solving system of equations, for example, the graph will be given, like it's given to you. So name the vertex of the feasible region and find the maximum minimum. So this function becomes very important now, and you have to use your calculators. So you will start by making a table wherein you will choose 4 values, the corners 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just need 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. The first part would be the value of xy, which we will take from the graph. The second part would be the function value on those points. So the first part, you will write all these points like negative 3, 3, 1.53, 0 and 6, negative 2 and 6. So all these points I have written. Now for fxy, you will use this function. You can write this on the calculator, and then you can just do calc and substitute the values, or that'll be actually difficult. You can write this with the replaced value. So for example, if I am doing for negative 3, 3, this is x, this is y. So substitute. So you'll get 4 times x, which is negative 3, 2 times y. Substituted it here. So that'll be negative 12, negative 6, and that is negative 18. So this value would be negative 18. Same ways, if you want to substitute for 0, 6, you will do 4 times 0, negative 2 times 6. That is negative 12. So likewise, you keep substituting and you will get the values, or you can just write this expression on calculator, this expression, and you will find the answers. Once you have all the answers, you can see that out of all, because it's a bounded region, out of all the values, the highest value is 0 and the lowest value is negative 20. So you would say the maximum, the value is at 1.5 and 3, which is 0, and the minimum value is negative 20 and negative 26. So as it is bounded, so maximum minimum will be here on the vertices. We will see what happens if it's unbounded. Same as here. This is a bounded region. Function is given in the question, so you have to use this. There are 5 equations. You will make a table again. So this is going to be xy, this is going to be fxy. So you will take the vertices. I think in this case you will have to count them. Like for example, just give me a sec. This is very blurred, but just give me a sec. So I'm assuming that this point is 1, 1. It's blurred, so you cannot see it. So if I go by 2 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This point would be 5, 1, 2, 3, 3. And this point would be 3. So 0, 3. Now you have to substitute the values. So I'll write here 1, 1, 5, 3, 0, 3. You have to substitute these here. So when I substitute the first one, it will be 1 plus 1. The second one would be 5 plus 3 and 0 plus 3. X and y. I'm replacing x here and y here. So this value is 2. This value is 8. This value is 3. Now you can see the maximum value is 8 and the minimum value is 2. So 2 is at 1, 1. 8 is at 5, 3. That's what they have written. It's a bounded region. So no problem. These are your answers. Now let's have an example of unbounded. Okay, we do not see it here, but for example, if you have a couple of lines like this, and I'm talking about this region. Now this region is unbounded. It's not closing by the third line, which means either it will not have maximum or minimum or both, because there is, you don't know how high it will go or how low it will go. Same ways you can have a function like this. It will have a minimum, but it will not have a maximum. So this is just example. It is not related to question number 3. if it's an unbounded region. Unbounded means if it doesn't have boundaries, if it's open to one side. All right. But most of the examples are bounded regions. It's the same example. Now, moving on, the learning objective is we have to solve system of equation in three variable, build equation, then solve in real life problems. So these questions, MCQs, you can solve it. Either you can substitute the values and check, like, for example, 4 times 1, 4 times 1, 4 times 3 equals negative 4. So this is 4 minus 4 plus 12 equals minus 4. So this is going to be 12 equals minus 4, which is wrong, which means this answer is wrong. Then let me choose the small eraser. Then you can use the second numbers, which is here, 1, 3, 1. So this will be 4 minus 12 plus 4 equals minus 4. So this will be negative 4 equals negative 4, which means this could be my answer. Then you can replace it by the third option, which is 3, 1, 1. It will be 12 minus 4 plus 4 equals negative 4. So this is 0. 12 equals negative 4. No. So this is not the answer. So you can verify for the second option, you can verify all three equations and you will get the answer. So this is when they are asking you MCQ. This will save a lot of time because, so I would say substitute answer options into question. Sometimes you will have equations like this, like here, number 2. From the first equation, I'll divide it by 3. So I'll get x minus y plus 2z equals 2. And there is another equation at the bottom that is same. Now that is not possible, that two equations. So whenever two equations are same, you would say no solution. Because if you solve them, you will get 2 equals 13. Because this side is equal. So that means 2 equals 13. And that is impossible. So you would say no solution. Sometimes you can have equations like this. If you divide it by 2, you will get x minus y plus 2z equals 2. And this is 5x minus 8y plus 13z equals 7. Just give me a second. All right, so, but let me show you first how we can actually solve it, because solving is more important. Wait, I don't see any solution. Okay, wait. Let's try solving this. Let's add a page over here. Let's see how do we solve these equations. So let's go with this one. X minus y plus 2z equals 2. You will solve, I'll name it equation 1, I'll name it equation 2, I'll name it equation 3. So you will use 1 and 2, and you can use 1 and 3. Let's take an equation which gives you solution. So I'm taking this one. 10x plus 3y plus 2z equals 99. 4x plus 8y plus 2z equals 78. 2x plus 3y plus z equals 33.6. Now if you have to solve it, then you will name them 1, 2, 3. Always look for equations which have something in common. Like if you have to make all of them, first of all, you can divide equation 2 by 2. So when you do that, you will get 2x plus 4y plus z equals 39. This makes it easier because now if you compare 1, 2, and 3 equations, you can see you always look for 1, like 1x, 1z, 1y. So making this similar would be much harder, and making this similar is much easier. So I will try to eliminate z. So first of all, this is equation 2 now. Let's remove this one. So now from 1 and 2, I will get 10x plus 3y plus 2z equals 99. 2x plus 4y plus z equals 39. Now they are not same. So I should multiply the second equation by 2. When I do that, I will get here 4, I will get here 8, and I will get here 2. And this would be 78. Change signs for all of them. So plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, because I want to cancel these two. 10 minus 4 is 6x. This would be 5y. Here you will get 21. So this becomes your equation 4. For the second part, from 1 and 3, you can use 1 and 3, but I would use 2 and 3 because they both have 1x already. I don't need to multiply them. So let's make it 2 and 3. So that will be 2x plus 3y plus z equals 33.60. 2x plus 4y plus z equals 39. Change sign for all of them so that I can cancel these two. This will be 0. So from here I'll get minus y equals negative, I think 5.4. So y is equal to 5.4. This will be your answer. As you can see here, somewhere in the answer they are telling you that only. So now solving the other part becomes easy because you can substitute y in into equation 4. So you can put it here. When you put it here, you will get 6x minus 5 times 5.4. You can use calculator after this. So 6x equals 21 minus, I would say 5.4 times 5 should be 27. So x is equal to, this would be negative 6. Sorry, it'll be plus. So 21, because it's negative and it goes to the right side, becomes plus. So that is 48. So when you divide by 6, you will get 8. And now, finally, you can substitute in the question to find the value of z. So I'll be using the equation 2. 2x plus 4y plus z equals 39. So we are trying to find out z now. So this would go here, this would go here. So z equals to 39 minus 2x minus 4y. You can use calculator. 5.4 times 4 is 21.6. So when I do 39 minus 16 minus 21.6, I'll get 1.4. So as you can see here, 1.48, these are the values. So your final answer is x is 8, y is 5.4, and z is 1.4. So that's how you solve equations, and you see what kind of solutions they have. Um, Hello everyone. So we are looking at the next one, which is probability sample space. The first question is about rolling a fair six-sided die, which looks like this, and tossing a fair coin. A coin has two sides, head and tails. So with every, like a dice can give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and with each one of them, you can have either a head, like 1H, 2H, 3H, 4H, 5H, 6H, or you can have a tail, like 1T. So the right way of writing it is given on the left side, and that is the answer. For the second one, Zainab is trying to wear outfit. She will wear one of each. She has shirts, pants, sweaters, shoes. So all you have to do is multiply all of them, like 5 times, 3 times, 2 times, 4, and that will give you 120. 5 times 4 is 20, and 3 times 2 is 6. That's 120 different outfits. For her birthday, Alia received a new wardrobe. She has 6 shirts, 4 pair of pants, 2 skirts, 3 pair of shoes. So one of each. So 6 times, 4 times, 2 times 3. And let me cross check this on the calculator. Yeah, 144. That will be your answer. Moving on, 8.2, that is about probability and counting. So you have to make empty spaces. Now there are total, you're looking at intersection and union and probability of complement. So when we talk about intersection, let's say this is maths and this is science. So the common part is the intersection part, which is given by a downward U. When we talk about union, U for union, that is everything, math plus science plus the intersection. When we take maths and science, we are counting intersection once in each one of them. So I'll just show you the rule after some time. So let's have a look at the first question. There are standard deck of card, and this is how we write complement, like math and math complement. Sometimes you will see a dash over there like this. First question, there's a standard deck. What is the probability the card is black and an ace? So 52 cards are there. 26 are black, 26 red, 13 of each suits, 13 clubs, 13 spades, which are black, 13 hearts, 13 diamonds. So black cards are 13 out of 52. And if it has to be an ace, there are four aces, two red, two black. So probability of black and an ace would be 2 out of 52, which is 1 over 26. Second one, consider a standard deck of card, the probability of selecting a heart or a 10. So I can solve it in two ways. Either, like there are 13 hearts out of 52, plus there are four tens out of 52, and you should subtract, it should be 1 out of 52, because there is only one heart, which is also 10. So that's the common. So how many hearts are there? 13. How many tens are there? 4. And common is 1, 10, which is also heart. There's also a rule which is like union, which is probability of A plus B minus the intersection. So that 2 should be 1. For some reason I cannot. Okay, that's 1. So that should give you the answer. Also, alternatively, I can look at logical side of it, which shows that 13 hearts are there overall, which includes the 10 also, 110, and there are three extra tens, clubs, spades, and diamonds. So 13 plus 3 is 16. It can be 16 out of 52 as well. 16. Okay. So this is the rule of union. When something intersects, you subtract it once. Uh, so like 13 hearts are there, and then plus three tens, which I have not counted yet because I counted 110, which is heart. So total 16 out of 52. That would be your answer as well. One card is selected from standard deck, which is equivalent to the probability of not selecting a 7. So there are four sevens, and not sevens are like 52 minus 4. That's too much. So you can just do total probability, which is 1 minus 4 out of 52, which is 1 minus 1 out of 13, and that will be 12 over 13, and that's your final answer. Let's have a look at the last. A survey found that 90% of junior class is right-handed. One junior is chosen, so you'll make one spot. What is the probability that he or she is left-handed? Now, right-handed people are 90%, so which is 90, 0.9 or 90. Left-handed would be 10%. So 10% of 100 is 10. So 10 out of 100 are left-handed people. So 1 over 10. I just want to focus on one more thing. Let me go back to the three equations in three variables. Let me add a page over here. So what is the situation in which we can have one solution, no solution, and infinite solutions?
So how to solve it, I have already shown you previously in the previous page. Now I'm trying to show you what are the situations in which you will say that there is one solution, no solution, or infinite solution. So one solution, like you have equation, any random equation, three equations in three variables, and you get three answers like x equals something, y equals something, and z equals something. That means there is one solution. However, when you talk about no solution, let's say some three equations are given to you, and you're getting some false statement like 0 equals 5, which is impossible. So there is a no solution. Actually, I should write impossible because 0 is not equals to 5. So that is, there is no solution, that means. For infinite solution, if you're getting something like x equals, um, let's say there's an independent variable 2t plus 1, y equals t, z equals 3t plus 1 plus 4. So here t can have several values, and with changing values of t, you will get different answers, which means any value of t is acceptable. So there are infinite many solutions, like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can substitute any number you want in place of t. And this is how we solve it. So thank you so much.